Hey guys, welcome back to the HCIM Series. Now that we have the max house out of the way, we're going to be locking in and pushing for the 87 Slayer grind. Along the way, we'll be hoping to get some Zenites from Demonic Gorillas, Dragon Boots from the Spiritual Mages, and maybe a Abyssal Whip from the Abyssal Demons. Let's get into it. Well, here we are at the start of our first task. We have 184 Black Demons to kill. We're going to be starting off at 193 KC. Hopefully we can grab ourselves a Zenite or a single unique. I do believe it is a 1 in 100 chance to roll the table, and a 1 in 300 to get the Zenite specifically. We will be looking out for the Heavy Blister as well. It is something that can be useful for later grinds, such as a Raxor. Don't even know what I just got, but it's a combat achievement, apparently. First level up on the grind, that's 94 hit points, which also gets us 111 combat. Something I had forgotten to do in the last episode is make my fairy ring. 85 construction, we need 10 mushrooms and a fairy enchantment. Now, whenever we want to go use a fairy ring, we'll just simply go to a house instead of using the Ardy Cape. Tell you what, the amount of damage that we deal nowadays with the Demon Bane weapons that you can bring here, I would very much consider doing these off task. I wouldn't have done beforehand on a previous account, but I might just accept the fact that, oh no, sorry for the auto notifier. It's the prayer going low. I might just accept the fact that in the future, I don't really want to do Demonic Gorillas right now. I want to get some XP quickly, and to put these on the back burner after this task, I'll give it some consideration. Because again, these aren't quick XP like Tormented Demons are, and I would like to get my Trident as soon as possible. It's one of the tasks that I do dread, and it will probably burn me out more than anything else. There's 92 ranged. Oh, also, I just noticed we have actually breached. Every time I start talking, I play worse, by the way. But we have just breached 300 KC without a single unique item from these so far. I'll be honest, the task has become a lot more bearable now. I started to bring 2 more super restores each inventory. It really took like our trips like an average of like 12, 13 to like 20. I don't know what it is. I think it's just the short trip and having to bank very often. I think it really just takes it out of me a little bit. But now that I've gotten better at just doing the Demonic Gorillas after a bit of practice, because we've not been PvMing for a while, this task isn't so bad. I was just a bit grumpy earlier. Last kill coming in, and 10 Lithodymes. We unfortunately got no Zenites from our first 2 tasks. We are almost level 82 Slayer. I'll hover that a bit more. Let's just quickly look at the log. We have 377 Demonic Gorillas killed, and none of the uniques. Any one of these is 1 in 100. We're almost 4 times dry of anything from Demonic Gorillas. But to be fair, we spoon Tormented Demons. We've got no legs to stand on. Let's just go get another task. Duradel, and by Duradel I mean Kuradel. What do you got for me? 158 Aberrant Specters. My favourite. Well, it's a new day, and the first kill into the task, we managed to get ourselves a Superior Slayer monster. Let's see what we get. Diddly squat. Level 82 Slayer. I think that gives us access to Ancient Wyverns. We probably won't be in the business of killing them because I don't think their drop table's lucrative enough to want to camp. I will consider it if we ever get a task, but I'm pretty sure we blocked them. I'll have to check when we get back. Unfortunately, the hard clue was a dud, so that's why I'm in this getup. Let's get ourselves some Greater Demons. That is, once again, Tormented Demons. We do have to consider whether we want to do them or not. Where are they? Is it in Slayer? Or is it in Tormented Demons? There we go. We do have all of them done, but they are amazing Slayer XP per hour. I think for now, I'm going to put Tormented Demons on the back burner. If I get another task in the future, I will consider it. But I'm just thinking about my supplies and how they're going to last me. So I think it's best for now that I don't do this at Tormented Demons, because we will be running low on prayer pots, because we have quite a few. And hopefully we get a lot more Aberrant Specters and seed drops and whatnot. But I don't think the 400 potions roughly that we have, I'm not gassing, am I? It's about 400. Yeah, is going to make it to 87. So we have to be a little bit more careful, because we do want to do Demonic Gorillas when they come up, and those take quite a few. So from now on, we are just going to, whenever, like in between like every task, as long as it's relevant, try to squeeze in a herb run. I'm not going to show you every single one. This is just one while I'm blabbering on about random stuff, because, you know, it's in my brain while I'm doing absolutely nothing other than doing a herb run. But it will obviously be absolutely wonderful, as we probably got into on the last episode, to get ourselves some super combat potions for the future. Because not only do they, you know, give you stats and everything, the main reason that is a benefit is It really condenses 2 or 3, depending on if you bring a super defense or not, inventory slots into 1. And I think that's going to be massive for the account because as a hardcore Ironman, you are guaranteed to lock away, in most scenarios when you're doing anything, 1 inventory slot for an escape crystal. And being able to claw that inventory slot back just helps you do bossing and extend trips wherever you go. So we're always going to be doing our herb runs to be able to achieve the super combo potions. I don't know what it is for divine. I'm assuming it's silly. 97 divine. And we also need to get to that extended anti-venom because they're going to be wonderful for Araxor when we get there. We're probably not going to hit this high herblore before we hit, was it 92 Slayer? 92 Slayer. But a man can dream. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe to the video or else my editor will kill me. Tell you what, just for the sake of, you know, ease, this task is currently 105k strength XP an hour and 30k roughly Slayer XP an hour. Now I know this is very early in the in the task, we're only 13 in, but that seems incredible. I'm happy that I haven't done Tormented Demons just because it is going to be, again, rather simple. Can they stop stacking up? It's rude. I think the main reason now, if I go back to Tormented Demons, will probably be because I want a bond or 2, in all honesty. Also, I get to spec. Love it. Absolutely love it. It's nice having a spec weapon that's not... Or should I say, it's nice having a spec weapon for every situation. I've got a Dragon Warhammer now to beat on some boss with high defense. I've got Burning Claws, which will pretty much just be my sidekick during Slayer, as long as I remember them. I didn't bring them for the Spectres tasks. I completely forgot I even had them. It's been a while. A thought that had just percolated in my mind is the fact that the Greater Demons... Obviously, we could go kill Krill Suitor off if we want to, but personally for me, I don't want to do that without a light bearer, as that will be paramount to being able to spec him constantly with the Scorching Bow and not allowing him to move. So it's something I have just considered after thinking about it for a little bit, but it'll have to happen, stuff like that, once we have already done our Slayer grind, because we're not going back to TOA until we have at least a Trident, as it will just speed up the kills on Akka by minutes, literal minutes every time. Life is Pain. Well, that was our last one, so we're going to have to... I think we're going to buy... Let's just get 10. We're money rich. We make many mistakes, so let's just get enough to not have to worry for a while. At the end of that, we managed to maintain our 100k strength XP an hour and roughly 25k Slayer XP an hour. I don't really know how I want to tackle doing the Slayer grind for a video, because I'm going to be honest, I find it hard to make Slayer seem that interesting. I guess we'll just be moving on from task to task. If we've done a task before, we'll just essentially, if we get anything interesting, show it. If we get to any certain task milestones, we'll also show that. But other than that, unless something interesting is going to happen from now on, in terms of, again, what I've just said, we're just going to plow through and hopefully get some good loot and some fast XP. Skeletal Wyverns is not fast XP, but it could be good loot. After doing the Skeletal Wyvern task, I decided I was going to extend some of my other ones. We're going to do Aberrant Specters. We're going to do Dust Devils. We're not going to do Blood Veils right now because we need to save some points for later, just in case we need to skip for Kraken tasks and whatnot. But I'm going to extend Gargoyles. And lastly on here, we're going to extend Basilisks. Just because if we get a Basilisk task, which I do believe we have unlocked somewhere in here, Basilocked, we would love to get the Jaw to be able to upgrade our abilities. No luck on the Basilisk though. With this being the first time we're doing the Cuirass task, I've decided I'm going to range them. I'd much prefer to be meleeing, but we don't have the melee weapon that I want, which does drop from these. It's also a combat task I didn't realise I hadn't had. We want to get ourselves the leaf-bladed battle axe, as that'll be a whole lot better and make these tasks a whole lot quicker. As for the Cuirass themselves, alongside the leaf-bladed battle axe, they also drop quite a decent amount of alcohols, herbs, and the seeds. So it has a pretty good drop table. Notable stuff on its other drop table though, which I'll be showing on screen, is actually the amount of fruits we get, or farming adjacent items, such as the papaya fruit, the coconut, and the white berries. We'll be able to use these to hopefully protect our trees in the future. We'll also get a lot of flax, and since we haven't got to Zora yet, that'll be a nice way of obtaining bowstrings to be able to gain some fleshing XP for the future. Not that we're too pressed for it for now, but if we get any good drops, I'll see you then. After remembering the existence of the Ironworth Slayer dungeon, I did come down here, 16 kills in, to start getting some passive crystal shards on this grind too. I did forget. Okay, as we killed the last Kurask, we got ourselves 3 hard clues. And here's the loot that we managed to get for the task in general. It's pretty good. I'm going to go off and complete these 3 hard clues. Hopefully we can get a couple of caskets out of them. The last 3 hard clues I've attempted have all ended in a wildy step, but, you know, I can always believe. This time we got multiple. It's much better to have multiple at the same time, so you can actually use multiple clues to get a singular casket. Since we're going to be at this for a while and our ammunition is rather low, I've decided I'm going to make myself 10,000 broad bolts. And hopefully that will last until we hit 87 Slayer. Okay, it's monumental, guys. It's task 100. Let's see what we get. Oh, it's a Jad task. I guess we should. I don't see why we shouldn't. It's been a while. It's great XP. It's just willpower. I'm not sure how much willpower I've got, buckaroo. There's another Jad kill. 25,000 XP, 100 tasks, new PB, and I think we got a combat task for, that is 5 KC of Jad, which should now put us on leaderboards, which is nice. Cemented there forever for, you know, we can look back on it when we have our death. Fire cape should be traded in. I don't know what I'm doing. I have a fire cape. Bargain for the pet, please. Yes, I will give my cape back, and not lucky. Sodge. We managed to get our first task. Our task is Dust Devils. It's the first task we can use our occult altar for. So I'm just going out my way to make myself some player-owned house tabs right now, so that we're able to come back to our house after we do our Dust Devils task, which is hopefully going to be a lot of money, a lot of XP, and maybe a few superior monsters along the way. I think I've got about 200 soft clay, so I'm going to make all of those right now. And we have 81 defense. We actually managed to get 2 Dust Devil tasks. We completed the one before. We got some more Dagonoffs, and then we got some more Dust Devils right afterwards. So we've actually been gaining quite a lot of XP recently. We are currently 45k away from the next level. We've had a couple of superiors this task, but nothing to show for it. But it's nice to actually start getting burst tasks, because it's so refreshing to see the XP per hour in Slayer be about 50 to 60k other than 20k. So just letting you know, it's all going well. Back to the grind. There is 83 Slayer. We can now kill spiritual mages, which is a massive milestone, because that unlocks the dragon boots for us, which give us an extra +2 strength bonus over our current rune boots, which is a +4 strength bonus overall. And that in a lot of situations is going to give us an extra max hit, and hopefully it will speed up subsequent Slayer grinds. So once we've completed with these great demons right here, which I've decided to range in this safe spot because it's rather good XP and I'd like to get 99 range out of the way fairly soon, I'll go grab ourselves, or should I say I should go grab myself some dragon boots. This is the armor I've come up with. I feel like I look like an absolute freak, but I think this is going to get me through to the spiritual mages in the Zamorak side of the dungeon. Hopefully we don't have to worry too much. We have a damage book. This should be Saradomin, and this should be Zamorak protection. So I'm going to go give it a go. If it goes poorly, you'll never see this clip. I'll obviously just fill out my inventory a little bit and whatnot. Oh, that is also an elite task done for the Fremennik area as we start off. You know what? I'm realizing I could have brought my Dragon Defender because there's no other mobs over here, but that's fine. It's not going to be a big deal. Oh. Yeah, it's not going to be a big deal. They've already dropped. Maybe I should get a second pair so we can hold them for the elite clue. It only took 2 kills. You love to see it. Okay, I decided that we're not going to be doing enough elite clues to farm another pair, and 30 kills in I got a bit bored, so on to the next task. Fire Giants. Right, off I go then. Actually, before I get on to doing that task, I've decided that we have 600 reward points, so once again, we're going to extend some tasks. This time we're going to do Necreals. We're going to do Kraken because we're going to want to get a task before we farm our Trident, because I think that's the only way of getting one. So we want as large of a task as possible to guarantee getting on the first task. And then I guess we can also do Abyssal Demons for when we want to try and farm a whip. And nothing else is really tickling my fancy right now. We will obviously get a rack size before we hit to 92, but that's quite a while away. And I don't think any of these unlocks really matter. Ring Bling we should probably get soon, but it's not particularly necessary. And like a boss, we're just not ready for that, because we can get a lot of bosses that we just don't really want to take on right now. So just be wasting a lot of points. I think the next thing we're going to be spending our reward points on is actually the task storage, because it is 1,000 points, but being able to save a task for later on, I think is very valuable. And hopefully like just chaining certain tasks at the same time to get them. I don't like leaving what I'm doing a lot, so making it be longer is much better. Like for instance, we get ourselves an Araxite task, and then we store that task And instead of just doing that one task and then going and searching for ones, we can search for 2 in a row and then do them back to back. So we're locked in. Now that we have the fire giant task over and done with, we have task 110, which is some cow fights. Before I go and do that task though, I'm going to go and sort out my throne because I keep seeing this message. We only have 384k in the coffer and we've got plenty of a cash stack to fill it up, so let me go and do that. This is the amount of herbs we had in store for us when we came to Miscellanea. It's actually worth 5.3 mil, so I must not have taken it out last time. 140 Renawis is pretty huge. And they've absorbed the seeds and mahogany logs. I'm going to see exactly how much banked XP that is, according to my tracker. And then we're also going to deposit 1 mil in there. That should be good for like a week. As you can see, our total banked went from roughly 509k XP to 675k XP, which means we had 166,000 banked XP in our kingdom, which is wonderful news for our super combat potion endeavor. Back to farming. The slacker has finally killed 5 Hespori for the CO. And there we have 84 farming. Now I get quadruple U roots, which is probably not going to be necessary for the account. Fortunately enough, on the start of day 5 on our grind, we put our Slayer points to good use and we got an extended Necreal task. You may have noticed in my last clip that I've forgotten my pants again, so I had to go get those real quick. And here we have a cheeky superior, nothing of note. Womp womp. There's 95 strength. Well, that is another Jad task down. It was quite a long run because I wasn't really giving it my full effort. I was too busy doing some math on the side. Yes, we're doing math up in this his owl. And then we give our cloak to you. I have a fire cape. Bargain for the pet. I know I won't get my pet back. Me not lucky. Well, as you can see, we managed to get ourselves another Jad task. We had a small intermission with some black dragons in between, but here we are. I did bring in anglerfish this time in order to do a combat achievement, so we just tank one of the hits. So we are a little bit short on food because I did accidentally take a mage hit off prayer earlier on. We should be more than good enough. I'm going to anglerfish up and then we'll spawn Jad. I'll probably try to tank the first hit and then just deal with the fight after that. You'll probably see a sped up run of it. So if Jad would be as kind enough to not hit me too hard to begin with, that'll be fan. Oh, shit. There we go. But that is 120 tasks done. Combat achievement done, a near miss. And once again, we get another chance to deposit our fire cape. And I'm going to assume I'm not going to be lucky. You're not lucky, Saj. And then we have 84 Slayer. 84 Slayer actually unlocks us the Drakes, which are in Mount Rhorrn. Drakes have 2 drops that we'll be looking for. First of all, the Drake's Tooth will allow us to make our best in slot prayer bonus boots. The Devout boots that have a +5 prayer bonus. Unfortunately, we will need to attach them to a pair of Holy Sandals, which we won't be getting unless we spoon it from medium clues, as we don't have a grind for that coming up in the future. Next up is the Drake's Claw, which we will mainly be following for the collection log slot alone. These will allow us to, when paired with the Boots of Stone, make the Boots of Brimstone. The Boots of Brimstone are a decent hybrid boot that can be used in the Carl dungeon without the Elite Diary task being done, but I doubt we'll care too much about it as we won't be doing too many tasks in here until we lock the Hydra task down the line. And at that point, hopefully we'll already have the Elite Diary out of the way. We managed to get our first Via task. Obviously, we're here as we'd like to get ourselves a Blood Shard, and we have a 1 in 1500 chance of striking lucky on that. Fortunately for us, it is a very AFK task that doesn't require us to use up many resources, as we can replenish our prayer at the altar to the south of the bank. The obvious downside of this task is going to be the fact that it's only currently 15k XP an hour for me, but I'll be honest, sometimes you just need a break from gaming too hard for too long, so I'll welcome it in with open arms. Well, we have finished our first task. We managed to get ourselves quite a decent bit of loot. The rest of it was left on the floor, of course, because we don't need too much, but we got a lot of rune, some decent amount of runes to help us continue bursting, and a decent amount of cash at 315k. And here we have another level on the grind, 93 ranged. Obviously only 6 more to go until we get our 99 there, which is roughly 6 million experience, which is quite a lot, but the combat levels do be rising, and they're rising, I'm gonna say fast, but we have been on this Slayer grind for like 5 to 6 days, so not too terribly fast. but we're getting there. Here's an example of a Cuirass task. What I find most interesting is actually the crystal shards. Getting 66 in one task seems absolutely immense. I think they changed from dropping 1 to 3 to 5. So realistically, we got 4 times the amount that we normally would. I'm not sure if superiors used to always drop them. I'll double check and show it on screen. But you just don't have to worry about crystal shards in an Ironman anymore. It used to be a decent issue, but for now, we're loving life. 95 hit points, 112 combat. By the time we hit 99 HP, we'll probably end up going back to Winnie T again with a regen bracelet so we can stay there forever and not have to use any food whatsoever. Oh, we got our first collection log slots at the Worms, a Dragon Throne Axe, which is possibly one of the most useless things in the game to get. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you know, a clog's a clog. Oh, it's been quite a few days, but we finally got our second Black Demon task for the grind. We are currently halfway through level 84 towards level 85, but we've got some demonic gritters to kill, so let's get on it. Hopefully we can nab a Zenyte shard. This being the third task we've had. We're starting at 377 gorillas with no uniques so far. If we don't see anything on this one, it's a cause for alarm. Well, there's our first item of the grind. I'm just going to TP out really quickly. A monkey's tail. I think something's telling me this is the rarest item on the drop table. Let me just go check that real quick. It's joint rarest at 1 in 1500 compared to the Zenyte shards 1 in 300. It's the first time we rolled the table. That was KC. That was KC 439. So we've got 1 unique in just over 4 times the drop rate for any of them. I'm not too mad about it because we will want to build a ballista regardless. But, you know, it'd be nice to get a Zenyte out of the way. Oh my god, it's a second monkey tail. There ain't no bloody way. Stop hitting me, brother. I hate my life. I don't really need a second one because we don't really care about making a light ballista. But here we go, we've got one. I've got an absolute mare on this guy. I'm flustered because of the monkey tail. Last kill of the demonic gritters task, and we get an alcheball. It's not too bad. We've currently made 13 million from the demonic gritter grind in terms of bank value, but obviously 2 of those are monkey tails that we don't really... One of them is fine because we want to make a heavy blister for Araxor. Maybe we'll use it for anti-PKing at some point if we have a grow pair, but we're probably just going to freeze and run, let's be honest. So let's just go get our task number 130 when I find my way to teleport down there, and I'll show you what it is. Hopefully another good task, and it is Jad once again. Again, we're going to keep doing Jad until we get ourselves the pet, because I don't see why not, because it would be nice to have. I'm lagging. Halt. I'll show you the task. Or, well, the XP drop maybe. And once again, no pet from the run. We'll try the fire cape. Dormammu, I've come to bargain. You know, lucky. Oh my god, we got a blood shard. I was not expecting that. I was completely and utterly AFK playing the Bazaar. That was kill number 307, I presume. Maybe 306, doesn't matter. But that is the first blood shard on the account. We're going to need that for doing possibly Vardorvis, but definitely Fear Blood. So we're happy to have it. And there's 92 magic. In this task, we're also going to get 85 Slayer. So let's get into what that means for us. So what I've decided upon, even if the whip is a massive upgrade for right now in terms of doing Chambers of Xeric and stuff like that, I'm actually going to, instead of just running it down and farming one out immediately, we already upgraded the task, thank you. We're just gonna get the task for it if we can. No luck on the first try, instead of just spending time, because we still need to get ourselves 87 Slayer as fast as possible. Just my own sanity at this point. So if we go beyond 87 Slayer, I will just go and farm one out, because I don't mind doing Abyssal Sire, especially with the new Demon Bane weapons. It might be a touch sketchy, but it'd be fairly interesting nonetheless. Oh my goodness. A collection log slot. It's a granite maul. It's on the floor for 1 million GP. Excuse me? What happened, brother? Is this because everyone's playing leagues and no one's killing gargoyles anymore, or is this something else? 1 million! This used to drop for alch value. I guess I'll hold on to it because there's no reason putting it in the death's coffer, because if we die, the game's kind of over. And another one. This might be one of the greatest tasks for moneymakers ever made. 1 mil! I can't get over it. Oh, we just managed to get our first Basilisk task, which is very interesting, as it might get us our first helmet upgrade in a while. The reason we have waited for a Slayer task to do the Basilisk Knights is due to the fact that the item is 5 times more common during a Slayer task, lowering the drop rate from a 1 in 5k to a 1 in 1k, meaning that we're going to be saving hundreds of prayer potions during the grind. Dropped my monk robes earlier, had to go get some more to be able to put them on. Okay, this is the setup we have settled upon. It's essentially just going to be a massive burn of prayer, which we all knew, which is why we're going to have 20 prayer bonus for the task. And we're going to bring ourselves Divine Reading Potions to make sure we have as much DPS as possible. Alongside, because we've been bringing those, Bones to Peaches, so that when we do obviously use the Ranging Potion, we take 10 damage. And we'll be using Bones to Peaches to get Peaches to heal ourselves back up. And unless I get a Jaw or an Incredible Superior, you're probably just going to see the example loot at the end of the task. And me complaining about the lack of prayer potions I have. I'll see you then. I just told you a straight up lie. That was an elite combat task to kill our first Basilisk Knight, which gained us 4 combat achievement points. I actually don't know. Let's just have a look. How many points are we away? 21? I think once we are done with the grinds that we're currently on, I might consider pushing for the elite combat achievements and seeing if we can manage that. There'll be a lot of opportunities. It probably might be a little bit out of our range of our current setups, but I'll love to try. I think it'll be interesting. That is absolutely crazy. This is why we went dry on Zenites, boys. We have killed 22 Basilisk Knights and we have our Jaw. You know what that means? I don't think I'm killing these ever again. I'm off skids. There's no point. They're ass. We have our Jaw. Let's go and make our new upgraded helmet, shall we? Well, I know we have to come over to Olaf the Bard for this, so I'm going to talk to him first with both of the required items in the bag. Maybe I should just use the Jaw on him. You show the Basilisk Jaw to Olaf. He's very excited. Would I like to hear the song? He just said no. I was going to say sure. My guy said no. And then we could just attach the Jaw. And there we have it. This is my favorite helmet in the game. I love the look of this. Well, of course, that now means that we are going to cancel the task because we're no longer going to do it. And then we're also going to lot. Where is it? Basilisk task once again. So we will not be seeing them. And then we'll take a new task. What do we have? Curadel? Not that one. 90 Drakes? Spoon another upgrade? Don't mind if I do. Let's go. Well, this is how I've decided to start killing Drakes. We're going to be utilizing ranged, as using ranged with anti-fire protection and an anti-fire potion. We should take 0 damage from these. I have realized I've forgotten to take my crystal. I'm just going to check. Yeah, see, that does nothing. It's a bit risky to do, but I will probably be dodging them regardless. But I will maintain the dragon fire protection. I just don't want to die. I can see myself missing it in melee and taking a big old chunk of damage. Not that it'd kill me in one hit, but it is a worry that I have. And again, with every new task, I'll be giving you an example loot of the task once we're finished with it. Well, there is one collection log slot from the Drakes that I didn't expect to get, but it's not the one that we wanted, clearly. 1 mil worth of Dragon Knives is pretty good. Not that we're going to be using them, I think, pretty much ever, as they are more of a PKing item. Maybe we can do some speed combat achievement tasks, but nothing springs to mind right now. And also, it's nice to get a bit of bank value added onto the account. Dragon's Tooth? And by Dragon's Tooth, I mean Drake's Tooth. The Drake's Tooth is the item that we can attach to our holy sandals when we get them to create the devout boots. So until we start doing some medium clues, unfortunately this item's going to be taking up bank space for no real reason. But it's nice to have for the future, as they are complete and utter drip. And best star prayer bonus, of course. Well, there's the end of the first Drake task. Here's the loot that we managed to get on screen. We do seem to be missing 1 kill. But it was a cheeky 34k prayer XP banks from the task. Okay, attempt 9 on the pet. Not successful from the task. We bargain the cape for nothing. And our 140th task is Aberrant Specters. No! I've just pressed the wrong button for no reason. Minus 75k. Idiot. Managed to get ourselves another defense level during a burst task at during a burst task at Necreals. 96 strength. I think at this point, if strength isn't our first 99, then something's gone absolutely wayward, because we are just slamming back some Slayer, and we're still going to be slamming back some Slayer. We're still 100k almost XP off of 86 there, so there's plenty of damage left to be done. We haven't had a Abyssal Demon task, which is fine. We are actually very close to a range level as well, only 23k away. But things are going well. Our cash stack is slowly working its way up there. We have got quite a few alcohols in the bank, so we'll probably, when we have our trident, out them all and see what we've got accumulated. And then we also have level 94 range. I actually can't wait to get back into raiding because all these levels and upgrades we're going to be getting, hopefully we'll just absolutely trounce the tier ways that we're normally doing. We could probably push like a 250, maybe even, I'd say a 300 is just a bit unattainable before we have a fang. But if we get a fang, then I'm sure we're going to be doing 300s in no time. No upgrades or no task unlocks from that one, but we are only one level away from getting ourselves to 87, where we can get ourselves a trident. And then we have an Abyssal Demon task. Hopefully we can get ourselves a whip. For our first trip, I decided to do some melee with the Ember Light. I didn't know whether to bring prayer gear or not, but this is the gear that we brought. Hopefully in the 243 demon task, we don't die to a superior spawn, which is the main reason to bring prayer gear, but also we hope to get a whip. I decided to do this Slayer task on stream, and after being linked to one of the clips of seeing Praisefoot die to a superior Abyssal Demon, I decided I'm going to use prayer for the rest of this task. Oh, hello. Abyssal Whip, Pogging, and then we have 96 hit points, only 3 away from 99. The burst tasks are really pumping out our health. It might get to 99 before strength, because now we have a whip. We won't be able to train strength on it. A lot of tasks I will probably still use a zombie axe for, because it'll probably be more DPS, so I'll have to wait and see. I'll probably DPS calc every single thing. You won't see that. I like being efficient when I can be. Yeah, HP is probably going to be our first 99 at this rate, thanks to the whip and the burst tasks. I have noticed I've become dangerously close to running out of runes, especially death runes, and even just the war runes, 4 each. So we are going to have to stock up soon. Hopefully we don't have to. I mean, to be fair, I would like another burst task, so maybe we should just go do it regardless, but we'll have enough to get through this task, but if we get another one, we're going to have to buy some more runes, probably in Prif. We should have the money to do that, so it's not that big of a deal, but it's not to run out. That's the main point. Luckily for task 150, we had anchors, which only took us a brief moment, but we got 225 points from that. After the Anku task, we then had some fire giants. We had another Abyssal Demon task, where we did get ourselves a cheeky second whip, just in case we want to make ourselves a tent whip in the future. We then killed some blue dragons. We then had another Greater Demon task. And then we have our 10th Jad kill, no pet. We hand in the cape, no lucky. And then we got ourselves some Aberrant specters. And then we also had some Dagonoths, some skeletal wyverns, another Drake task. Well, after the Drake task, we have 6,300 XP to go. So likelihood this is going to be the final task before we hit 87 Slayer. Kurodale, what you got for me? 201 Greater Demons. Fantastic. And there we finally have 87 Slayer. It has been 10 days since we started this grind, but we can now kill cave krakens. Unfortunately, we will need a task in order to start killing them. So once we have completed this one, we'll go over and get ourselves a task. And what is the first task of level 87 Slayer? Well, that's all we have time for in this episode. Now that we have our 87 Slayer goal out of the way, we'll be able to start crackening on to get ourselves a trident in the next episode. Massive shout out to Walter for being our ladle, and a big thank you to the Big and Little Spoons for supporting the channel. If you wish to be a part of this list, please join the channel down below for the appropriate tier, or subscribe on Twitch to become a big spoon. I love you all, and I hope to see you in the next one.